one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is just the open 15 minutes. You get 5 minutes to speak and be respectful of everybody in the room.
I'm not sure how this works when you go up there.
Yes, and you
stand right there.
Okay.
I don't bite.
I'm Ashley Denbo, Ashley Stephen from Toledo, from Clarkbrook. I don't know if you guys want me to talk now about the septic issue, or if you'd like me to wait for the agenda item.
Go ahead and speak now, I guess. I mean, the agenda, yeah.
Okay, so, I'm here so you guys can put a face to the person that you are kind of screwing with. You said you approved it in March, and now you're trying to rescind that. So my question is, I'm an 8th grade math teacher. You expect me to do a job. I give my kid a word, I have to keep that word, because otherwise what's it mean? So my question to you is, what's your word mean? Because I'm a single mom, I raised 3 kids, I've taught in this district, I've lived in Tama County all my life. I don't have $15,000 to just be dumped on. I did it, you guys approved it. I went on, I said, okay, Jared from Champion, go ahead, do the septic. 2 days after the septic's done, you guys decide that you're not gonna do it anymore. And I just don't understand what your word means. I mean, we talk about America's youth and we gotta teach them right. Well, I'm sorry, you're teaching them pretty bad qualities. That you can approve something, I'm sorry you guys didn't read it right, I don't know. It was in the minutes. I mean, your error shouldn't be my problem. You approved it, they called me, it was a rejoiceful day. We were trying to split hairs. It wasn't my fault the septic was approved the first time, because it shouldn't have been. It did not meet code requirements, it was not right. But the old Tama County guy said, nope, he stamped it and said, okay. So I was trying to split the hairs and be like, you know what, it's not your fault, it's not my fault. Let's split the difference and be okay. By you guys rescinding this and not doing, in my opinion, what's right, that will cause me and Bill, and we will seek other people when we have a lawyer. You need to do what's right. And what was right is you gave your word. And I'm sorry, gentlemen, what would you teach your grandkids or your kids? You gave a person your word, you are expected to honor that word. In my opinion, that's what you need to do. So, that's all I have to say.
I would just like to say, we approved the budget.
And it was in the
We did.
budget.
At that time, we did not know that it was an illegal payment if we made that payment, because of the time elapsed. And we cannot do an illegal payment.
Then you should have looked into it before you approved it.
Right.
You should have got my hopes up. Because I don't have that type of money lying around. I teach school.
Empty promises.
Yes. So and as said, I think you guys are opening a bigger can because more people are gonna come forward. And as said, our lawyer is totally ready, and it's statute of limitations applies if the job was done correctly. The job was not done correctly. So I can't check on a septic system that I know nothing about, otherwise I would have done it myself in the first place. I was expected Tama County to do a job. They failed, they need to make it right.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
All right, got a few different topics. Zoning commission, what's the latest on that? I've been out for a few of these recently. When is that getting filled? Has there been interviews scheduled?
No interview scheduled,
Okay, so no timeline on when you will be filling
no,
that?
not really.
Okay, is that same with the?
Soon we hope.
Okay, same with Board of Adjustment, is it? Okay. I guess the main concern about that is there's been a zoning position open since August, so it's almost been an entire year, and it is Iowa code to fill that. that. So, again, it's very disappointing. That's something that it needs to be filled, and now it needs to be filled with women. There needs to be that equal board, so with men and women. Battery storage is another thing that would be good for zoning to look at. I think, Dan, you were gone when I brought it up last time, but they're looking to do battery storage right at your Toledo shed that you have here, right at the substation. There is a request to put battery storage. Battery storage is very dangerous, can start on fire. I mean, it would just blow everything within the vicinity. The shed would be gone. So it's something I want you guys to consider, as well as getting a zoning board in place and letting them meet. There's a lot of risk with that. And again, with your shed right there, that's a lot of assets, a lot of employees, a lot of risks that could really go on right next to a battery storage area. So really want you guys to consider that, get that board working. So the Board of Health meeting, that was on Zoom. Again, I know the group here has been asking for a long time to be able to sit at home and work and listen to a Zoom is amazing. You know, I have to take time off instead of be with my kids to come to these meetings because there's still things that are not solved. So again, a hard ask, let's get Zoom. It's easy. The Board of Health had it, piece of cake, you know, just a little, I wasn't there, but I don't know what device they had, but it couldn't have cost much. The people at home, people in the field and tractors, they need opportunity to watch these, to not get behind, because trying to go back, like our team records, but to go back and try to watch them, who has time for that? So hard ask on that as well. And the other thing is just so disappointed that we're all having to sue each other. It's very frustrating. A supervisor's job is to protect our life, our liberty, our happiness, and our safety, and to do what's right. I've seen 3 people here in favor of wind, and you still won't do a moratorium, you still won't update ordinances, you won't revoke permits that shouldn't have been granted. It's frustrating. You know, we're all here. There's always, look at the room full of people saying, we don't want this. Your guys' job isn't what you want, it's what the people want. And I don't see anybody publicly here that is saying, hey, yes, I want this, let's do it. So we really need you guys to do what you signed up to do and were elected to do, is to protect us. You know, you could update, do moratoriums, do ordinance changes, it's not gonna affect what's already approved. You can do that now. So appreciate you guys looking into that. Pray for you guys to do what's right. You know, we continue to get more issues. Now we got the Board of Health issues. We've got to be a stand-up county. We need to turn things around. Thank you.
To follow up on what Heather said, I'm Kathy Kraft, Harkema. Watching the Board of Health meeting last week on Zoom was an embarrassment for Tama County. It's unfortunate that it came to a shouting match with your attorney from Polk County shouting at the volunteers who serve on the Board of Health over a matter of what's right and what's wrong. And we get that your attorney argues that there's a statute of limitations on payments. That's one side, that's his opinion. The bottom line fundamental issue is those septic systems should have never been approved by your employee, the former sanitarian who still serves as the zoning administrator. So it's a matter of doing the right thing. And I don't know if you caught, the governor of North Dakota was on a lot of the Sunday morning news programs yesterday. And he talked about when he became governor, his fundamental principle was instilling a culture of customer service in all of the state employees. I challenge you to do the right thing as elected leaders and to work to instill a culture of customer service, starting with yourselves. Look at all the people that come here every week for more than a year. You are elected to serve all of these people. You are elected to listen to them. You are elected to act in their best interests, to do what they ask you to do, to follow the law, but to do what is right for Tama County. Instead, what have you done? In the past year, you've taken the public comments from an hour to a half an hour, now to 15 minutes, because you're trying to shut the people out. And we can assure you These people aren't gonna go away, because what these people want is ordinances updated to protect the precious farmland, the quality of life for people and livestock and wildlife here in Tama County. It's not hard to do. We're ready to partner with you to start to update those ordinances. And we appreciate that you're looking at solar, because we are very vulnerable with no industrial solar ordinance. So we need to finish that job. And where does that stand? How many comments did you get in on the last solar deadline that you issued? That closed, I believe, last Friday. Can anybody tell us?
I got one.
One? So then what are the next steps, Bill, in that process of updating the solar ordinance and the timing?
We don't have a time, but we'll be talking.
Okay, and how about, and thank you for that, how about the wind ordinance?
We are not doing anything with wind as long as there's lawsuits filed.
There is nothing that pertains to ordinances that can't be changed. So, again, we've made it clear, the fact is, ordinances can be updated at any time. There has been approval granted by the county for one phase. That project can do as it pleases under your approval of the county. So now is the time, before any other projects are proposed, to update the ordinance. And that's what the people are asking. Agriculture is number one in this county. It always will be, as long as we protect our farmland for farming and not for industrial use. You know, you got a big Pioneer plant sitting right across the street here. We've got some of the most productive farmland in the world here. We want to keep it for farming like Benton County does. So that's what we're asking to do, guys, is let's get going, let's get this wind ordinance updated. Its roots are 25 years old. It's not sufficient to protect the people and the land and the livestock of Tama County. So let's do the right thing. We also ask you to do the right thing with regard to the septic systems that were inappropriately approved, and make it right for the people like the woman you just heard from. Because people should not have to suffer for the mistakes made by county employees. If it was a car accident and a county employee killed somebody, would you do the same thing and say the statute of limitations is passed, or would you try to make up some rule to get out of paying for it? You need to do the right thing to take care of the people here. And with regard to the appointments on zoning and board of adjustment, those expire June 30th. Today is July 3rd. As Heather said earlier, we've had a seat open on zoning for more than a year. With the way the people on the board of adjustment were treated by your attorney in that in the board of health meeting most recently, I think you need to stop and pause and say, let's treat each other with courtesy and respect. Thank you.
We got about a minute.
It will take 30 seconds. Is going to present this to you, and to you,
You.
and to you.
Present.
Yeah, present day. Am I within my minute?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Okay, I have 9:15, we'll go with public comment on agenda items only.
wanna talk to you about the Board of Health meeting. It was embarrassing to see Carlton Salmons at the top of his voice yelling at the Board of Health, having an argument with Kurt here. That is not the way a good lawyer works. And to be embarrassed, not for just ourselves, but everybody in the county, to think, this is the person that's representing the board? Is that the way he has been treating the Board of Health for the last 2 years on this issue? I think, this county deserves better. So, and, you know, I appreciate the fact that you guys have always been willing to listen to me, but I think Carlton showed his true colors at that meeting to me. And when I was standing there speaking and had the floor, he interrupted me. You don't do that. That is not how you act at a public meeting. So, but I will voice my opinion. Tama County had an employee that screwed up, that made a wrong decision. We need to take care of people like Ms. Dimbo back here. She should not have to withstand that $15,000 loss or whatever it was. I personally had the elevator spray some soybeans on Friday. They got the wrong chemical in there. And, but I've been assured there's insurance to take care of that. Tama County needs to have had insurance to cover situations where Ms. Dimbo, you know, it wasn't her fault. And she's in a position to have to come up with money, being a single mother. I'm sorry, she probably doesn't have $15,000 sitting in a savings account. Very few people do. But, my opinion is we need to take care of the situation with the problems that happened because of Todd Hatfield. It's gonna be a lot cheaper if we would approve the $51,000 right now than going to court and having lawyers tell you, well, we gotta run up a bill. And I know your position as far as the deadline, but just like with my soybeans, there's gonna be a claim, one way or the other. And somebody has to take care of the people of Tama County. We can't tell people like this, oh, sorry, we screwed up, but we're not gonna pay it. Especially when you had it in your budget and you approved it twice. Like she said, how good's your word? Thank you. Good morning.
I have a question. I'm Carolyn Adolph, Geneseo, Traer, somewhere like that. Carlton Salmon said that is illegal after 2 years to pay that claim. Well, is it illegal, or is it just you don't have to after 2 years? There's a big difference. You know, he acted like it's illegal, like what's gonna happen? It's illegal. Well, is it illegal, or after 2 years you don't have to, but you could? See what I'm saying? There's a big difference there. So do we really know, is it illegal, or after 2 years you don't have to, but you can make your own choice then? So that's my question, and I don't know if you know that answer or not, but I think we should figure it out.
We do, it's illegal.
It's illegal?
Illegal by state code. to
Illegal,
pay.
or after 2 years you don't have to?
No, it's illegal. If we make that payment,
Then
the
what's
state
gonna
can
what's
come
gonna
back
happen?
and whoever authorizes that payment has to come up with that money out of their own pocket.
And you're sure of that?
Yes.
Have you gotten a second opinion
Yeah,
from
I-
another
I-
attorney?
That's
That was 2 lawyers that day saying the same
from the
thing.
same
From the
firm.
same group.
From the same firm.
Two lawyers from the same law firm doesn't mean a second
Right.
opinion.
And the I just
I don't
hesitate to
think Brett
think.
agreed with that.
Yeah, that's something to look
Yeah.
into.
You wanna pay it, you can pay it.
I had a question, I was gonna wait my turn. Do you have the code number that Carlson gave you for which part of the code that is?
No, I don't.
Is that something that you can provide later if we ask again?
It should be in their minutes, I would think.
The Board of Health minutes, you
Yeah.
mentioned it then? Okay. Thank you.
I'm Karen Murray. I feel very fortunate to have sat in on that meeting last week, because the insight there was, if you have been treated that way by Carlton Salmons, your own attorney, for the whole last year and a half, 2 years, and watching him cross a room to get in the faces of volunteers, which everybody in that room except you three were volunteers, and the two lawyers were volunteers, and watching behavior that doesn't follow the guidelines you guys set here for us now for the last 3 or 4 months. It was an amazing observation. It was just an amazing thing. It went against all your own protocol, but seeing somebody with that much bullying power cross a room, we've seen it in this room with a certain individual that does that kind of stuff. And she's not here right now. And she sat in the dark there. And she should not have even been allowed to talk if she was gonna sit in the dark, because none of us get to sit back there in the corner in the dark and talk. You make us come up here. Whether, I swear, if somebody was in a wheelchair, they'd have to come up here. So, I'm so glad I got to go to see that, because now I kind of understand what you guys have been up against for the last 2 years. There's a lot of fear from your own perspective with your own attorney. It's an amazing thing. And I kind of even see where Larry Vest might have been afraid of him. Thank you. And by the way, I wasn't.
We knew that, Karen. My name's John Michael Plack. I farm near Geyser. I want to reiterate what these folks have said. That Board of Health meeting, boy, there was a new low point there, guys.
Yep.
There was a new low point. And after the first 5 minutes of the meeting, it became abundantly clear what kind of an attorney you got. To get up and bully people, volunteers, that's ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. Number 2 thing, Bill, Mrs. Denbo here, did you ever go talk to her in person and say, hey, we've made a mistake? I bet not. Because you know what? Like I reiterated at that Board of Health meeting, the right thing to do is treat somebody the way you want to be treated.
Golden rule.
It's that simple. Number 2 thing, that lawyer. Did you find it ironic that he said we could better use that $50,000 and put over here somewhere? Yeah, how about to pay his law firm? Did that dawn on anybody? He's all about feathering his nest. And you guys, you too, make a mistake and you go run and hide behind the lawyer. You can't speak to this lady like a decent human. You can't, Bill, she's in your district.
Be a man.
You just threw your people in your district under the bus. to save your own ass.
John, I've about had enough of you.
Hey,
You wanna get out of here?
I've had enough of you too,
He's
Bill.
telling the truth.
And,
Listen to him.
and he's not crossing the room to get in your face, Bill, he's
He's
holding
just
his own
talking.
corner.
I will talk to her, yes.
Oh, now, that would be a big help, wouldn't it?
I ain't never had a phone number for her.
Oh,
I called and left you a message.
I
and you
can't
called me
believe it.
back. You just lied.
she's in your district.
Hold it down.
How about you, Bill?
You hold it down.
You hold it down.
You think
Do
you're gonna
something.
intimidate me like Carlton Salmons? He said he would never, I would be a difficult one to defend. He would never have to worry about it. You guys, it never dawned on you about his 50,000. Oh, we could spend that somewhere else. Hell yes, on his law firm. That's why he was, you guys didn't even look at getting a different lawyer. It came out of the same law firm, didn't it? Voted it, done. This man right here has stood up for his district. He stood up because what he saw was not right at that Board of Health meeting. And you two were like a bunch of church mice. I suppose Carlton told you to shut up. I can see why. You got something to say, Bill?
Yeah, why are you mad, Bill? He didn't do anything. He just reiterated.
Sometimes the truth is painful.
That's how
The
the
way you
four of
want
us
to be
felt.
treated. Think about it.
You bet. You
don't.
know what? I've seen enough.
You don't.
That bullying attitude, I'm gonna
Who's
stick up for the,
bullying?
who's bullying?
You.
Did you listen to that Carlton Salmons, the way he walked in there and got all over Dr. Heineman?
Yes, I was there.
Well, it sure didn't seem like it.
Do you approve Carlton's actions at that meeting?
Behavior.
You approved what he said, but did you approve his actions?
Not really. He got a little,
Because I know when I was speaking, excuse me,
but
he interrupted me. That is not the way you do it in public. So I was glad that I was able to tell him, you know, I got the floor. So,
I'll keep it quick.
got less than a minute.
Okay. I just want to bring it to your attention, I had a realtor with me watching the Zoom for the Board of Health meeting. And she informed me that Todd's rubber stamping up every time we transfer. She says, if you've only got 2, you're lucky. Because she says there's probably a plethora more out there. So just want to bring that to your attention.
I'd like to say one more thing. We don't want you 3 guys to just quit like so many other people in this county have because of all the circumstances. We just really want to back you guys up, support you guys, to help you guys to do the right thing. Because on a personal level, you're our county and we like all 3 of you. It's just that the last year and a half, you're working for somebody else. At least 2 of you are. But we really do care about you guys. And believe it or not, you're in our prayers.
Okay, we're gonna start our regular meeting. Ben.
Being morning. Got a weird week here with the 4th here, but last week we were able to finish up H Avenue, at the grading project. We also did some brush furnace trucks out. I don't know if you guys are out here today, you know, enjoying getting the extra long weekend, so we kind of really only got 3 days, 2 days for some guys going on. And then we got 13 applicants for the motor grader job and had 2 apply after, June 26th, so, but interviewed 4 last week on Thursday, and then, we're looking at offering, the guy the job this week, so. And then, for the Toledo Bridge, all they got to do kind of, well, all they got to do, but, the west abutment pile, still need to be driven, and then concrete poured, and then at some point we'll get the beams going and get a little closer, but, K Avenue, between 290th and 400th Street is closed. That's the other bridge project we got going on this year for, contractor wise, PCI has that one in there, hopefully, I know PCI on Toledo Bridge, they're not gonna be out there today, so they're taking the extra long weekend too, so, and then on the shop meeting is, I think you guys know, Thursday at 11 a.m. there at the shop, and then we're just kind of working to grade up the approach pad that they got going on. Hopefully, I don't know if it's this week or next week, talking with Tim, if they're gonna get that poured, so. And I got a voucher for you to sign for the paving project that was, from Cloutier E36, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, yeah.
East of Cloutier.
Yep, east of Cloutier, and just had some, only thing on here was just the liquidated damages, they just, for,
And I do have that as a motion and second to approve.
okay.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve signing the voucher for E66?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Are we pouring that out there, that pad, or are they?
No, they're doing the 25-foot from the kind of, just the approach slab.
Okay.
I know
Can we just sign one place on this, Ben, or?
Yeah, just sign on the last page, or at the front, you can do the front page actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to sign on each one. But, yeah, on the above the tanks, we've gotten Ciro, the contractor there, we've gotten a quote for them, on that, and it was, I think, it's been a while since I looked at it. It was a decent amount, so we're trying to figure out what, budget-wise, I know we'll probably at some time have to do a budget amendment just due to the building possibly, just because we had all the funding that was, it was supposed to be finished by this year, the last fiscal year, and it's gonna be coming into this fiscal year, so I don't know if we'll have to do amendment on that as well, or, so, I'll just brought that to, bring that to you.
As long as it's not going to your wages, it's fine.
Already,
We got you.
No, yeah, it's not.
Can I ask, what are you gonna do on the road east of Cloutier?
That was just finishing up a project, so we
Okay,
got
'cause
just some
I know.
final, working with the
I
DOT.
thought that was one of the nicest roads.
No,
We
that-
got- I mean, it was
that-
just
that-
down here a
that's-
couple
that's
years ago.
just-
Yeah.
Exactly, so
Yeah.
we're just kind of finishing up
Okay.
stuff that was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just
Dan,
leave it
you
alone,
know,
it's good.
mentioned- No, sorry. that the road, that your employees did a good job, I thought, on 270th east of F Avenue.
Okay.
It's gonna look better when the grass gets seeded.
No,
Instead of
yeah,
the weeds that
yeah,
are growing, but.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I drove that and was pretty happy with the way that turned out, so, yeah. Anybody else?
There's a bunch of junk cars out there, like Glenberry's. It's where the old Highway 30 used to go, just past the sale barn. And so, what I mean, instead of turning to go New 30, there's a road, the old 30 used to run right straight east of there.
Oh, yep, I know what you're talking about.
You can see it from the off ramp, right?
Yeah, it's like,
It's
and
kinda
it's a
like-
paved,
It's kinda like, yeah, it's kinda
it's
like
paved
an
for
all-road.
quite a distance.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of junk cars that,
Okay.
that fella has, that lives over where he used to live.
Yeah.
He needs to get them off the road.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen that there.
He was
In
told
the
that a
right,
year ago too.
in the right way.
Yeah, he's been
Okay.
told more than once.
Okay, alright,
Okay,
well,
you can check with that, that'd be
we,
great.
we can sure take them somewhere and we'll have to.
I think you just talk to him.
Yeah, we'll talk to them
He'll
too,
probably
yeah,
do it.
no, yeah, if we can,
If you need to get Guido.
if we, yeah, I don't wanna go that route, so let's, yeah, we could go the most civil route.
That was Dennis
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah.
That bridge is out by the sale barn, any news on, update on that thing? Is it still on just hold, trying to find contractors?
I think it's, from
I
what
know.
I've heard, on hold, cause they might be redesigning it, or,
Yeah, they're
you
having
know.
trouble with it, but that's,
Yeah.
what- it's, nothing's changed, No.
Not that I've heard.
not that you've heard.
Yeah.
That would be Tama City.
That'd be the
Lincoln
Lincoln-
Ridge.
Lincoln-
Oh, yeah,
the
but
Lincoln
everybody
High.
trusts everybody in this.
Yeah, best to just ask Tama, Tama about that bridge.
But, yeah, I think from what I gather, it's still.
They haven't been doing anything to
Yeah.
it.
So,
I got a question, man.
yeah,
You're the road guy.
yeah,
How come they can't put the gravel on the road instead of piling on the side of the road?
well, that's to kind of help with, you know, in the wintertime.
In the wintertime, they scrape it all off the ditch.
Yeah. So, that would be we'd make that windrow to kind of keep as much as the gravel as we can, and obviously,
What's it?
work with,
Why put it on the road, you're gonna stack it on the side and leave it there and then push it off in the wintertime?
well, I would hope we can get coordinated with our guys to, not, push that off into the shoulder, so.
Do you suppose now that we have a new county engineer, that maybe that will, we've brought that up several times, maybe there'll be a new solution, Ben?
We'll try to figure something
Last
out.
time I had to go over a 1 foot tall, a foot tall pile.
Okay,
We ended up having to scoop it off by hand so we could get semis in and out of the field, cause it was just rougher than all get out.
okay.
And I don't understand why it can't just stay on the road, put it up on the road, cover the road and get on the road.
Now Marshall County,
Yeah,
they smooth it out all across the road for the winter.
yeah,
That way, when they go push snow, they don't have to raise the wing up to get over this pile of rock.
yeah,
Cause when you leave that snow on top of that pile of rock, now you're a foot tall.
yeah.
And Marshall County, they put it all across the road till spring, and then they take it back across the windrow when they go one way and then the other way.
Does Marshall County run trucks on their gravel?
I haven't checked with
That's
all.
one thing, that's one reason we put it in windrow, because we gotta run trucks on our gravels, and trucks are not meant to be on gravel, they're really hard to deal, and they can take some rock if you let them, so, in the wintertime, they do need to be put in a ridge, but, it would be nice, in the summer, keep it on the road
Yeah.
a little bit, but, yeah, that has a lot to do with, like, Benton County don't run, trucks on gravels, and they have more options to do with their rock. You can try all day to hold your sweep up in the air, and it's just a pain, it's hard, but, not speaking of experience, I never put any rock in a ditch, so. Stay honest.
You were at church yesterday morning, I know what to say.
Thanks, man.
Alright,
Thank
I was wondering why you just,
I
Threw
go,
me on
my
there.
mistake. I have a motion to approve last week's minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Been moved and seconded to approve last week's minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Yeah, we
Good
did.
on that.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, and then I guess, yeah, Tammy will be, taking
Yeah.
care of the Title VI, work, so, which will be doing HR related stuff, and I'll kind of be, work out,
Yeah,
Yeah, I already do Title VI anyway, so,
yeah.
it's just,
yeah, just,
or more the, for the DOT related stuff that they would want, so,
yeah,
Okay.
Ben,
so,
on a side note,
yeah.
the driveways on X Avenue and that dirt road, did you get a chance to look at that?
On
The new grade.
the new,
By the sewer plant, the dirt road by the sewer plant.
oh, yes, I did, I guess I didn't see the drop, you were concerned about our drop off
Yeah.
over there?
There's like a 2 to 3 foot drop off, and our landlord was from Minnesota, and she looked at that, and she said that that needs to be fixed.
On the south
West?
west corner.
Northeast corner.
North.
Oh, southwest corner of the intersection.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. I guess I took a look at it, I didn't see a 2-foot drop on it. I can go over there and take a look at it
I
again.
can look at it too,
But,
yeah.
see, so, but. I
We
guess-
can just get that addressed before fall.
Okay, alright, yep. So, alright,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Damn it.
okay, so, we have a class, Ben would have been taking it, but instead I'm gonna be doing it for, Title VI, so, this actually, you to sign since you're chair.
Okay.
So we need a motion and a second to
We'll need motion
approve
second.
appointing Tammy to be the coordinator
Right.
and then for signing that.
Not sure,
Okay, thank you.
thing.
I'll make a motion to approve Tammy.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to approve Tammy as, Title VI coordinator. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
What else do I have? Oh, I have my resolution.
Resolution for that ARPA
Mhm.
funds.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's.
the ARPA funds. Yeah, so we had, if you're ready for that one, the sheriff, he needed his policies and procedures updated. It's normally about 15,000, it's up to 20.
I haven't signed it yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. It's, 22,000 now. Then we allowed economic development to reappropriate $10,000 that they were gonna use for drone pictures since Ryan got his drone training and he'll be doing those pictures for us.
15,000 for GIS.
Yes, GIS, okay, 15,000 for that, so the issue with the plat books, and, so they're wanting to do it in-house, and so we authorized $15,000 to be able to buy the binding machine, and the paper, and the program that they need to run that. And, that is, we still have some money that we put out there, but not everybody's used it, so we'll be, probably this week or next, I'll be requesting for them to tell me whether it's still open or closed. That'll let us know how much money we have left, so, and then
This one is Tama County EMS webpage.
the EMS webpage is a separate webpage from, the 911, the EMA, and, so they needed $3,050 to go with Neapolitan, which is who we have doing that just did our website, and so it'll be an additional page. And so we went and approved all that. So I'd ask that you approve those for those departments.
Would you like me to read the resolution? Okay. So it's resolution 0703/2023A, a resolution to approve disbursement of funds for the American Rescue Plan Act. Whereas on March 11th, 2021, President Biden signed the $109 trillion American Rescue Plan Act, and reviewed some requests and determined some that qualify for the American Rescue Plan Act. And whereas, based on the distribution guidelines from the U.S. Department of Treasury, the following projects have been approved for use in the second round of said funds. Tama County Auditor GIS Plat Map Book, $15,000. Tama County Sheriff Policy and Procedure Manual for $23,000. Tama County EMS webpage for $3,050. Tama County Economic Development for reappropriate $10,000 to small business. Be it resolved that the Tama County Board of Supervisors endorses the disbursement of American Rescue Plan Act funds for the items listed and authorizes the auditor to make these payments as they are presented. So if I get a motion and a second for that, then we'll do roll call.
I will
Okay, we'll make that a motion.
I will second.
Okay,
Been moved and seconded, roll call vote.
roll call Kurt,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and Dan.
Aye.
Okay. Now we have a resolution to rescind $51,000 line item from Tama County Board of Health budget for the fiscal year '24 and setting a public hearing on the above resolution for July 24th, 2023.
Do you want me to read that resolution?
Yes.
That one's gonna be resolution 0703-2023B, setting a public hearing, whereas Iowa Code section 331.434 subsection 6 sets out the procedure if a board of supervisors wishes to decrease an appropriation of a department, and whereas a notice concerning the proposed decrease in appropriation for the Board of Health will be published as required and posted on the county website and or social media accounts if applicable. And whereas a public hearing concerning the proposed appropriation decrease will be held on July 24th, 2023 at 10 a.m. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Tama County that a public hearing be set for July 24th, 2023 at 10 a.m. at the Board of Supervisors room to decrease the appropriation for the Board of Health in the amount of $51,000 for fiscal year '24. Motion?
I'll
Then
make
a motion second.
I'll make motion that we approve resolution 0703-2023B.
I'll second it.
And roll call vote, Kurt,
Nay.
and Bill,
Aye.
and Dan.
Aye.
Okay, we have claims, motion is to approve the claims.
I'll make that motion.
Claims. Second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the claims, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, do we have to appoint you for that? Title VI board
You did
member?
that?
What?
For the title?
Yeah, it says, down here on our other, it says appoint for Title VI coordinator.
That's what you just
Right.
signed.
We just signed that.
Yeah, that's the one I need
Okay.
signed from you.
It was on top and
Yeah.
bottom. Okay.
And then I have to be appointed, and I go to school, I think August 2nd.
Okay.
It's August 2nd. I'm gonna be bin for the day.
Where's that at?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye Tech. Coming up with, that's God's country.
Okay, we need
That's where I did my ADA stuff, is Hawkeye.
motion to approve advertising for the conservation board.
I'll make that,
Resigning.
sorry, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Then moved and seconded, advertise for a vacancy on the conservation board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Would you mind saying who resigned?
Rocky.
Yeah, Nathan Rogge
From whoever.
from Glenbrook.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other comments?
Could you please tell us when Todd Apple's last day is as zoning administrator?
The 6th.
Okay, what's the plan for filling the zoning administrator's role if he's resigned as of July 6th?
We're looking into sharing with Marshall County.
But Todd is the zoning administrator in Marshall County too, and if he's resigned, what is Tama County doing if he's done July 6th? What happens if there's a need for zoning July 7th?
It'll go to Laura.
Laura
It'll
does
go to
not.
Laura?
And Laura will not do the meetings, but it'll go to Laura.
Okay.
She's not here.
And then
can't
you
put it
guys
on her.
will, we can throw her under the bus, she's not
Okay.
here. And then it'll come to you guys. So
Okay.
hopefully it would not, I don't think you'll probably have to do anything, hopefully we'll get someone hired right away.
Have you heard anything about?
No, when I talked to Steve on Friday, they were still trying to find a date to work for everybody,
Okay,
for you guys to meet with them and do the interview.
okay.
Thank you.
Are you still planning to share zoning with Marshall County?
That's our plan, yes.
And then are you planning to combine the sanitarian's position in with zoning and the weed commissioner?
Nope.
Are you planning to combine zoning with the weed commissioner?
Yes.
Not the
Yes.
sanitarian?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're planning to leave the sanitarian under the jurisdiction of the Board of Health, as the Board of Health
Yes.
wishes. Thank you.
I do have a quick question I didn't get a chance to ask earlier. During the Board of Health meeting, they had said that they had asked a whole bunch of people for advice on the situation. Was Carlton's firm contacted to give advice, being that there are our county insurance attorneys? Were they one of the people that were contacted asking for advice? I was just wondering why the supposed illegality of it didn't come up earlier. I would think he'd be one that you guys would have contacted for, since this issue seemed to be nobody knew what was going on till after it was published in a newspaper. Was he contacted?
not contacted by the Board of Health, no.
And you guys didn't get that and go, hey, we should see what our insurance guy says about a claim?
That all came after the article that was printed in the paper.
Thank you.
So was
Carlton's seen it, and he started doing some investigating, and that's what brought all this on.
So Carlton didn't start anything till he saw